What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talktagon episode 21. And this week we are going to look back at UFC 317, aka UFC International Fight Week. We had a crazy week. We had a crazy card. It was a good time. With me, as always, Rami, Max. How you guys doing today after what was a fantastic card this weekend?
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
happy. So happy.
I'm happy and sad at the same time. It was a good card, but also sad for my boy Charles. We'll get more into that later. But I was kind of what I expected, but I didn't want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? But fuck, dude.
Yeah, and we'll, like you said, we'll get into it later. But man, that was rough, especially for
the
me.
whole card was great though.
But the whole card was crazy. Yeah, we have a fantastic stuff to go through, and I will have a little bit of an announcement at the end of the show, but we're going to talk about the show first itself. Actually, you know what? We're going to talk about International Fight Week a little bit. So, what was it? I guess Wednesday we had BJJ, UFC BJJ 1. It was a good show. I watched it. Fun. I liked it. Mikey Musumeci is the champ. Of course, he's the GOAT. And then on Thursday, we had the Hall of Fame. I also watched that. Except for the last speech because it froze and I couldn't get it to start again. So I was like, fuck it. So sorry, Amanda Nunes. But yeah, that was cool. The Rock was there, so that was awesome. He inducted Mark Kerr. And then on Friday, Power Slap. I know a lot of people do not like Power Slap, but I watched it just because. The main event was a little bit of a disappointment. Two big heavyweights ended in a controversial decision. So brain damage, I guess.
Slap fight.
Brain damage. Then we moved on to the big one, UFC 317, and it was crazy. We'll get right here into it, kicking it off with the very first fight. We had Jonathan Deniz versus Alvin Hines. Alvin Hines making his UFC debut at 7-0 on like a couple days' notice. I think it was 2 weeks or something like that. He looked like a math teacher. He was, I don't know, he was weird looking. Not weird looking, but he just didn't look like a fighter.
He's a big boy.
Big boy, big heavyweight, and we kicked things off with that fight. So round one, Deniz didn't seem like he was throwing much, but he started busting Hines up. I felt like Hines was throwing more, but he was also taking way more damage. His right eye was swelled early. His nose was busted up. He was still coming forward, though, still swinging big shots. He did try for some takedowns, but he was unsuccessful. Both men were swinging hard at the end of the round. Then both of Hines' eyes were busted up. Round two, they were both just throwing almost every exchange. Hines was beat up bad, but he did not give up. Continued to walk forward. Very tough. Survived the round. We go into round three. Hines started looking solid. Deniz was starting to gas out a little bit. Then Hines landed an eye poke. That stopped the action for a bit, gave some time for Deniz to rest. And then they both started trading shots again. Landed some big shots to end the round, but neither fell down. Deniz did land a nice head kick to end the third round. But, yeah, neither fell. Hines was busted up. Deniz looked clean, but he did look tired, though. But Deniz gets the win, 29-28 across the board. I mean, as far as Alvin Hines goes, impressive performance as far as toughness goes. Not so impressive as far as skill goes, but 2 weeks' notice, he comes in here 7-0. You know, didn't have much time, but he's tough.
Yeah, put on a banger, dude. They set the standard for the whole show after this. It was like, okay, I was a little worried after the first round. I'm like, okay, Deniz might take over a little bit, but then Hines showed that he may not deserve to be in the top of the top. Hey, he's still a dog, and they said that he would just recently hasn't been actually fighting that long. So yeah, it's pretty impressive for an older guy to be getting into it pretty late and still, maybe not winning, but he definitely put on a great show. Definitely was one of my favorite fights of the night, and that says a lot when there was so many amazing fights in this card. But yeah, dude, I loved how they kicked it off, dude. The big boys were throwing down, dude. Sometimes we don't see that enough with the heavyweights. Brady was telling me how it was like there hasn't been a KO in heavyweights in a long ass time. I can't remember what it was.
Since
Yeah.
March.
So it's been rough for the heavyweights. This one still wasn't a finish, but at least they put on a show.
A great show. Hines, I thought was going to be put out by Denise in the second round because of the shattered nose. I thought that he was going to still come to the pain, but he just kept pushing through. And for a moment in the third round, I was nervous because Denise gassed out. He wasn't looking himself, and he was just it was on survival mode at that point for the next 2-3 minutes. And wow, I loved it. And like you said, Max, it set the entire pace for the rest of the card. And right after that, we're like, wow, can it get even better than that? And boy, did it. And it was just so perfect. Denise gets the win. We got the win for us, kick off the card and everything was perfect. But Hines, I'm going to be definitely looking forward to his next fight. If he can continue this toughness that he has, and those haymakers as well. Step in, haymaker, over and over again. I was loving every single second of this fight. So I was happy. Everything went perfectly to plan. And congrats on Denise for getting the win, surviving especially. But I'm very happy to see what goes forward with Hines, because this was his UFC debut, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so I cannot wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I almost picked Hines just for the memes, but I didn't do it. Thank God. Yeah, UFC debut. I am curious to see if UFC gives him another shot. Like you said, Max, 7-0 hasn't fall for a little bit, but I think people underestimate 7-0 as far as, or should I say overestimate? Just because you're 7-0 on the regional scene, especially as a heavyweight, doesn't mean you're fighting good people, to be honest, just to be fully honest. Like, he could be out there as a heavyweight just fighting other older heavyweights that just suck. Because, as we know, even in the UFC, the heavyweight division isn't stacked. So it's like, imagine what it's like on the regional scene. So I do feel a little bad for the guy that he comes on 2 weeks' notice and has to fight a UFC caliber heavyweight. So maybe they do give him another shot. But
yeah, he's like skilled and pretty fun contender.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for both these guys. Hopefully we keep Hines around, and then Denise. I'm excited for his momentum to keep going. He should probably be getting a ranked opponent pretty soon with this really shallow heavyweight division. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Exactly. Heavyweight division is the best division for you to just go straight to the top, apparently, because everyone else just sucks. No offense, but it's true. But yeah, Denise gets the win. We all picked him, starting off hot. We then move on to, I will say we did have another prelim. I'm already blanking on the names because I didn't write it down. But 2 newer guys, one missed weight by 10 pounds, which is crazy. He got cut immediately. Right off the scale, he got cut. The fight was canceled. The other guy, I'm sure, will get a chance soon, but getting cut off the scale for missing 10 pounds is absolutely insane. How do you miss 10 pounds?
It's like, especially when it's on short notice, it's like, dude, it's like, if you can't make the weight, don't fucking lie. And then some other fighter could have got that opportunity. Yeah, for real. Exactly. It's like someone else could have been actually closer to making weight and actually been like, that could have been the next phone call after you, but he's like, oh, I can make weight. Misses it by 10 pounds. I'm like, bro,
they probably saw the buffet at the UFC Hall of Fame and said, fuck yeah, I can make this weight.
For real, dude. They're like, shit, all this for free.
Crazy.
For the fighters?
Because not only that, but then not only does it screw another guy, but it also screws this opponent, and then it also screws your chances of possibly ever getting back to the UFC because they're going to be like, dude, this guy missed by 10 pounds. We don't want to chance it.
Chris Motino has a better chance of getting back to the UFC than this guy does. Like, come on.
Yeah. For real.
They might have called.
At least he makes it.
Exactly. Crazy. But so we did only have 2 fights on the early prelims, but obviously we have more. Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price is up next at a minus 2,500 favorite. Jacoby Smith was the biggest betting favorite in UFC history, surpassing Bo Nickel. In round 1, Smith immediately went forward, like immediately rushed him, pushed Price against the cage, landed some hard shots, slammed him down, continued to lay ground and pound. I thought it was going to be it right there. Some got through from the ground for Nico Price, and it busted Smith's nose. But then he ended up cutting Nico Price's forehead with an elbow. They got up. Both looked tired. Smith seemed a little more gassed to me. Nico kind of rocked him a little bit, but Jacoby rocked him right back to end the round, and we go to round 2. Fiery, fast start round 1, and Jacoby was looking a little tired. I was a little worried, but then round 2 started where the last one ended. They both started throwing. Jacoby was going for takedowns. He got one. Both were still punching, even on the ground. Nico was landing some elbows from the bottom again. Jacoby transitioned. Nico tried to roll, but Jacoby took the back and quickly slung in a rear naked choke for the second round submission. This was a wild pace, crazy fight. I was a little worried for Jacoby Smith. He is a, big up-and-comer, and this was definitely a test for him. I was interested to see how he would bounce back after being gassed in the first. He did all right. I think he probably still has to work on some of that cardio, because if you're going to push the pace and try to go for a finish immediately, you have to be prepared that if the guy survives, you can continue to survive the however many rounds are next, because that's a dangerous game to play. If you rush someone, can't get him out of there in the first, and then all of a sudden in the second you're very tired. So he did get lucky to find that submission, but got to work on that cardio, I believe.
Yeah, and I know we were all sweating watching that one, dude. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Probably everyone else too watching. But yeah, that was just a crazy, crazy first round. I was like, dang, I thought it was gonna be a quick finish, but then I'm like, yeah, now Nico might be coming back and might be getting a finish. But yeah, both guys were pretty gassed by round 2, and I was like, all right, this is definitely gonna be a finish. Thank goodness it was Jacoby. So we got that one right, and he avoids looking like a total, like, man, imagine losing is the biggest favorite of all time. That would be absolutely, like, not only is it the biggest favorite, but you also lost. I'm like, oh my God. That would be another level. But he didn't, thank God.
Yeah. He looked good. We all 3 picked him, so we'll take it. Yeah, he looked good, other than maybe the cardio.
Yeah, I was impressed with the finish.
I'm not gonna lie. I think the next fight that we're gonna cover, I think it took way too long for it to, it was like a very slow fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, way too slow.
Yeah, the
McKinney should apologize, fans.
Terrence McKinney versus Vyacheslav Borishev. We all went with McKinney. I almost picked Borishev, to be honest, because his last performance was good. So I almost picked him, but I didn't. Terrence McKinney, as this fight started, Terrence immediately went for a takedown off of a leg kick, got it, slipped in a very tight anaconda. They transitioned. Borishev, shout out to him. He was fighting. He was trying. But they moved into a guillotine for Terrence McKinney, and he was squeezing the shit out of him, and then he tapped out. Terrence McKinney gets the submission via guillotine in round 1. Borishev was as red as a strawberry. The guy was fighting his ass off, but he didn't choke the hell out.
Girl, did he was squirming his leg, dude, like looking like Volk against Ortega, except he wasn't able to get out. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Kicking as much as he could, but dude, Terrence has a hold on him, dude. Shout out to Terrence, dude. Never a boring fight.
Shout out Terrence.
Yeah. He said Terrence said when he gets on someone and locks in a submission, he's way too strong for these guys. I believe it, because Borishev was really struggling. But
those quick submissions, dude, they're almost just as impressive as those who were like 10-second knockouts. So it's like the submission probably takes a little longer to lock in. Or it's like that was under a minute, able to tap the dude out. I'm like, against the actual professional fighter, you're able to just tap him out in under a minute. That is pretty insane. So
and what
a performance!
So
yeah, we've seen him in there with some beasts. So yeah, McKinney, dude, he's right back into my radar of okay, real contender. I'm like, he's kind of been up and down, where it's like, okay, this guy's the next big thing. Then it's like, okay, he's had a rough patch. Okay, now he's back to looking good. And now I'm like, okay, here we go. He's putting it together here.
Yeah, he's have a weird trajectory, but hopefully
he's all over the place, up and down. But
hopefully he can
more up.
bounce back fast because he took 0 damage, literally 0 damage.
Literally, yeah.
So, hey, he could bounce back fast. We'll see how that goes, but we all 3 picked him. So far, we're 3-0, all of us. We'll take it.
You guys keep going pretty good. I take a bit of a turn for the worst.
Yeah.
I felt it last week whenever it happened to me, so I was like, you know what, this is perfect seat right now.
Exactly, dude. Hey, you can't win them all.
Yeah, but you know who can? Tracy Cortez. Tracy Cortez gets the win for myself and Rami, but not Max, who picked Viviana Araujo. Tracy Cortez gets the win here. Round 1, very wrestle-heavy round. They grappled basically the entire time. Tracy got a takedown. Araujo did a good job at transitioning. Tracy's back. Tracy got her off, landed in guard. Cortez had some submission attempts, but couldn't finish it. It had a tough guillotine to end the round, but couldn't get the tap. Round 2, the opposite of the last round. They struck almost the entire time. Fairly even, but then Tracy did get a takedown late in the round and probably stole that one. Did steal it in hindsight. Round 3, Araujo landed a nice front kick to the face, but Cortez just ate it. And then got a takedown off of it. Tracy landed some nice ground and pound, allowed her to get into an arm triangle position, use that to take the back, landed some more ground and pound, and then the round ended. So Tracy Cortez gets the win via unanimous decision, 30-27.
Sorry, I ordered a pizza. My apologies.
Every single time. 30-27 across the board. Tracy Cortez gets the win. Very good showing for Tracy. I thought she looked really good. I mean, maybe better than she's looked, honestly.
Yeah, I agree, dude. The stand-up was looking, the boxing was looking crisp, and then obviously the takedowns are her bread and butter, and she was able to really impress me in all facets of her game. So yeah, I definitely took the big L on this one, dude. Cortez looked great in there.
Yeah,
Cortez was dominant from the wrestling point on. It was great. Her stand-up was nice and crisp. But mostly it was dominant from the wrestling, and I was really happy to see that because that, like you said, that's her bread and butter. That's what she's dominant in. And to go against Araujo, it's really a tough competition here. But Cortez is just. I'm glad to see her back in the mental capacity where she can go out there, free her mind, and do what she does best. And she's getting better and better. Hopefully this continues on, and she can be able to get back into the rankings, top 10, top 5, and be able to show that she wants to go. Because I know years ago she talked about her championship aspirations, and I know those have not died out. If you're in the UFC, you want a championship, even if you're Clay Guida. And I know that she's gonna keep going forward, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. A dominant performance from her, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I don't blame you for going to Araujo. I honestly debated it
as well.
Yeah, I thought maybe I didn't expect Cortez to be able to dominate her on the ground like that. I thought Araujo would put up a better fight as far as jiu-jitsu goes. I thought maybe she'd be better getting out of positions and locking in submissions from the bottom or even from the top if she got there, but she just couldn't. Cortez dominated her, so hey.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tracy Cortez.
Yeah. I feel like this was kind of it was like I can't even crossroads, so it's like Cortez just suffered her first loss against the Rose Namajunas in her last fight, and I'm like, okay, is she gonna come back stronger, or is she gonna kind of like let that loss get to her and get her down? But yeah, she definitely rose to the occasion, dude. And I'm super impressed with that.
Yeah, very, very good there. So good job, Cortez. We then move on to Jose Delgado versus Hyder Amil. Round 1, both guys went at it immediately. They were just going for it. Delgado tried for a takedown. Emil reversed it and threw him off. He gets back up. They both start landing jabs, and then Jose lands a nasty knee. Drops him, finishes it with some ground and pound, which was honestly probably unneeded, but
Yeah,
Jose
dude.
Delgado gets the win via knockout in round 1. Hyder kind of complained a little bit, but he shouldn't have. He was definitely out. We both, or all three of us, went for Hyder Emil. He was the undefeated underdog, and didn't get it. So
Yeah.
interesting there.
Delgado's coming off back-to-back now. He now has back-to-back first-round KOs, dude. This guy's the real deal.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm gonna doubt him ever again. After that performance, I was like, I can't do it. He gave me nightmares. Cause look at this. It's all these correct picks, and then it's just that fucking fight.
For
Like,
real,
what
dude.
the hell,
You
man?
guys were one away from a perfect prelim.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Damn it, Emil.
It was so goddamn good. But
Bro,
damn you, Emil. Damn you, Emil.
you couldn't have taken that knee a little better? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Just kidding,
Honestly,
bro.
I expected better from him, if I'm being honest. Undefeated guy. He was an underdog, though. Should have won with a favorite, but undefeated. I thought he was going to, when he threw him down off that takedown, I was a little excited. I thought maybe he'd wrestle him there,
Yeah.
try and keep him down. Then he just got kneed in the face. So
For real, dude. That timing, dude. He timed it instantly. I'm like, dang, dude. I'm like, it only took him that much time to get that read, and it was like the first time he did it again, it was like, oh my, out.
yeah, it was rough.
And I just want to say this: heading into this fight, that big flash knockout and everything between Emil and Delgado, it's just crazy how the fights prior to that was just as awesome as this fight. Because you get a flash knockout, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa. The Cortez fight, dominant wrestling, but it was still fun.
Mhm.
With McKinney, quick submission, it was great. And Smith, Denise, all these fights were just like they came up and they showed up ready to fight. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my goodness, we're not in the apex. Let's actually have fun here. Like it was perfect. I was very happy about this. But even if we lost, yeah, like you know what I mean. Like Jose Delgado is just an absolute badass. That right there, that proved to me right there. Like holy moly, I will never bet against this guy unless you know it's a true actual battle where he's like, you know what, there's a test here. But no, this was a lot of fun. It was amazing. And I would rather suffer my first loss in a crazy fight like this than a stupid split decision where the judges don't know who they're picking.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was everyone came to fight this week as they should. International Fight Week. A lot of people, of course, as always, were hating on the card, but ended up being good. So they can suck it. We then head to the prelim headliner, Jack.
Holy shit. This one's crazy.
Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. Round 1, both men started going at it early. Jack was poking up that jab and looking good. I thought Jack looked really, really good. Gregory was busted up. He was busted up early. His eyes had him bleeding.
I'm going to cut you off real quickly, but for some moment it looked like Gregory like fucking stuck his fingers up his nose and then drew like devil horns with his blood on his forehead. Like you look back at the fight and it looks like he has devil horns the entire fight. Like I was like, did he just like do like a fucking quick like snap and then fucking put the blood on his head? I was like, but go on with your notes. I'm so sorry. But, like, I was like, what the fuck
Demon
is that?
time.
I think he showed what was about to happen.
Yeah, he was bleeding.
He unleashed it.
But he kept walking forward and all of a sudden landed a nasty bomb that put Jack Hermanson clean out. And then he hit a strike on the ground, which was definitely unneeded. And freaking Herb Dean was too late.
Freaking Herb, bro. Grabbing his little hips from behind. I'm like, he's scared to get in there, bro. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He's like grabbing his hips. I'm like,
I'm not dying.
Oh my Bro,
Gregory.
I'm not getting killed.
Bro, meanwhile, Jack is just like, I'm like, oh dude, my God, that was bad, bro.
Not only did he knock Jack out, Jack was out for a while. He was
out. Scared, bro.
He's out laying there the entire time. Even when the hand was getting raised, he was out. He was taken to the back. He had to stay there in the back for like 2.5 hours until they transported him to let him go home. Like, damn, he was out bad. Freaking Gregory Rodriguez. Man, he's an older guy, but don't mess with him.
If he can really get his striking,
I remember a couple of fights ago for Gregory Rodriguez where he got his eyebrow, in between his eyebrows, split open.
Yep.
And I was like, he's gonna lose. And then he won that fight by knockout, and I was like, oh my fucking god, this guy. I love the caption that someone put. RoboCop just turned into Terminator, and I was like, okay, I love both franchises. You know what I mean? So they're both great. But like, and I was like, Gregory Rodriguez is just a fucking man. Like, I love Jack Hermanson, so no one should ever get me wrong. I've always liked the style and everything.
Yeah.
But for Rodriguez to get into this, get busted up, and then come back with that nasty knockout, it was perfect. Everything about this entire I could watch back this prelim or like freaking wrap it up in Christmas present and wait till December and then watch it again. Like, it was just so damn good. I'm just happy that we got to experience this and witness this. And Rodriguez is just the fucking man. Holy moly.
Yeah, crazy. Definitely crazy. Poor Jack Hermanson. He beat Joe Pyfer. Looked good doing that. A lot of people, expected Pyfer to be one of the next top contenders, and then he beat him, and then took a little time off, and then he comes back and gets absolutely destroyed by Gregory Rodriguez. So we end the prelims off with myself and Rami at 5-1. Damn you, Hyder, and Max ends off at 3-3.
Let's go. 500 record, baby. Dana will keep me around. 500.
Hey, that's true. But then we moved on to our main card here. Let me pull it up. Peyton Talbot was supposed to be on the prelims, but because that one fight switched everything up, he got moved to the opener of the main card. And we kicked off with Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima in round 1.
My guy, pretty like a girl. Sorry.
In round 1. Felipe Lima, he looked good in round 1. I thought he looked good early. He was landing some nice shots. Then he kept going for takedowns, and Talbot was stuffing him. Lima got Talbot down, but Talbot reversed it and ended up on top, landed some nice ground and pound strikes. Talbot made a mistake for trying a takedown of his own and failed. Then Lima ended up on top, but then Talbot got up to end the round on the feet. Round 2, Lima was trying for some more takedowns. Peyton was stuffing him. He ended up landing on top with some nice ground and pound. They got back up. Lima tried for another takedown. Peyton stuffed it again. Got top mount. Talbot was again landing some nice strikes. They got back up to the feet. He was landing some nice strikes on the feet as well. Lima got a takedown. Peyton pulled him over the top and ended the round on top. Round 3, nice striking back and forth. Lima tried for another takedown. Failed immediately. Tries again. Gets it. Talbot got up. Got away with no damage. Talbot lands a nice spinning heel kick. Lima slipped and fell off of a kick of his own. Talbot jumped on him, takes top control, mounts him, and Lima tried to reverse it, failed. Talbot lays him some ground and pound to end the round and end the fight. Peyton Talbot gets the win via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Peyton Talbot needed a bounce-back win after losing to Ronnie, 5 months ago? Barcelos 6 months ago, who now just beat Cody Garbrandt, so that aged pretty solidly. But Talbot gets the win here. It was very, very, very obvious that after losing to Barcelos, the way he did, that Peyton Talbot needed to work on his wrestling, and obviously Felipe Lima was like, okay, we know his weakness, I'm going to wrestle him. But then after it failed a couple times, he just kept doing it. I don't know why it was like very obvious that Peyton Talbot worked on his wrestling defense, and it's not going to be easy to take him down. And he just kept trying and kept failing for the most part.
And I want to say this too. Like there was a couple of moments where Talbot had like some slip ups with the striking, and he almost got rocked and completely taken out of the fight. But then Lima just kept going for takedowns. Like, he kept fumbling the bag and going for takedowns, and you're just like, dude. And I kept telling my little brother, I was like, if he just keeps his stand up, he'll be perfect. They go back to stand up, he rocks Talbot, and then he's like, oh, I rocked him. Let me take him down. What's that all about? By the way, before we do continue this, go look at the comments.
I don't see any.
The comments? You don't see it? You don't see anybody comment on a stream?
Nope. It says 0 for me.
Randy commented.
It says 0
Hold
for
on.
me.
Randy.
There, see, it's showing. Hold on.
No.
What the fuck? It says show on stage for me, but it won't show on stage. Well, anyways, we'll crank it all hard. We missed you. Anyways, Max, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Dude, I picked against Talbot, but I was rooting for Talbot. And similar to Cortez, I'm like, this is kind of a crossroads in their career where they both suffered their first L in the UFC. And then I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And I was kind of scared for Talbot. I'm like, Lima's a beast, bro. I'm like, I've been watching him too, and I was a fan of his game. And we just saw Naimov win last week, who was choked out by Lima, and I was like, okay, this might be bad for Talbot. But to my surprise, and to my very pleasant surprise, Talbot looked way better on the ground. And honestly, I feel like it could have been 30-27, but we'll take the 29-28. Even though I picked against him, I'm happy for him. So yeah, dude, shout out to Peyton Talbot. I'm really impressed with how he was able to correct that hole in his game, and so now hopefully he's able to focus on just keep rounding it out well, so he's able to not get caught on the feet as much when he's focusing on just takedown defenses only. But yeah, I think if he's able to put all those pieces together, he's a really scary fighter. So yeah, great performance, and yeah, against a really tough prospect in Lima. I freaking thought Lima might get it done, but I'm happy he didn't.
Yeah, I agreed with the judges. Probably could have been 30-27, but I gave Lima excuse me, I gave Lima round 1.
Yeah.
Like Rami said, he was looking good on the feet. He was like almost winning on the feet, and then once he started to win, he's like, nah, I'm just gonna throw the round away and try to rest.
Exactly.
What
are you doing, pal?
Mm-hmm. Bro, it was almost like they cared too much about the game plan. Whether that was probably the game plan, they're like, let's get him on the ground, kind of like what happened in his last fight. But they should have just seen what was actually happening once it was actually closed doors and he was actually landing. But yeah.
I don't want them to rush this, but I would like to see in the next 2 years maybe, because I know how long it takes for people to get up and go through these rankings and whatnot. But maybe in a year and a half from now, I would like to see Talbot fight Barcelos again, have him run it back and see how it would go. Because with a lot of training that Talbot's been doing with his wrestling defense and his wrestling takedowns, I'm very happy to see that, and I would like to see him have that revenge fight against Barcelos, but for us to see how that would actually turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. It was weird because I felt like Peyton Talbot is known for striking and being a great striker, and he showed some skills, but Lima was the better striker while Talbot was a better wrestler, which was the complete opposite from his last fight.
Yeah, it was weird. That's not what I expected at all.
Yeah, like you said, it was just very weird from Lima's team to just not realize what was happening and switch the game plan mid-fight. So maybe the whole team got to work on that, because that was bad planning there.
Yeah, especially when the takedowns keep not working. He was 3 for 15. I'm like, bro, that's not a winning recipe. 3 for 15 on the takedowns. I'm like, and the guys are versing you when you do get on the ground. And I'm like, no, that was not the move.
Yeah, that was bad. But myself and Rami Woman Talbot will take that. Max, Lima, thank you for
real, bro. I should have trusted him, but I doubted him.
Hey, you got to win here while we did not.
You got to see both sides like Chanel, man. You got to see both sides like
Chanel. Bro. I was scared he was too focused on Frank, but I'm glad to see he can multitask.
We moved on to our second
people are gonna probably take that out of context on us. So at least we both know, you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, this one, Max was the one who gets the win. Well, we did not. Benil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Nice striking from Moicano to start off the round. But Dariush's kicks looked really good. He was kicking the legs. He stumbled Moicano with a leg kick early. Really nice body work from Dariush too. And then Moicano dropped him with a super fast straight. It came out of nowhere. He dropped Dariush, and I was like, oh my God, Moicano's going to get it done. He didn't. He was able to survive the round. Round 2, Dariush lands a big one right out of the gate. Moicano tries for a takedown. Dariush gets the take. Well, he didn't get taken down, but he reversed and took it back. Moicano was able to get up. He got taken back down. Dariush was in mount. They stayed for the rest of the round on the ground. Not much damage given, but he had control. He did finish the last few seconds with some ground and pound, though. Round 3, Dariush shoots for a takedown immediately. Moicano was able to reverse it. They both got up. Dariush lands a nice left and an elbow. Moicano gets taken down again. They bounce back up. Dariush lands 2 nice shots. Dariush then gets a takedown, takes the back. Moicano stands up, taken back down, able to stand up. They start trading some shots, but Moicano was gassed bad, and the round comes to an end. Dariush gets the win. Unanimous decision, 29-28. This was basically Beneil Dariush realizing that Moicano was getting tired, and he was like, I'm just going to keep wrestling him because he's definitely gassed, and he was definitely gassed. He gets the unanimous decision win. Moicano, he looked good early, but then, like I said, just gassed out. He needs to work on that cardio because that was bad. 3-round fight, and you're getting gassed that bad in round 2, basically. Like, and you would think that Moicano's like, I don't want to say used to it, but used to it. Like, he's been here before. He's been in 5-round fights, and all of a sudden he's getting gassed in round 2 because of some wrestling from Dariush that was good wrestling, but it wasn't like, Islam Habib level wrestling where he's getting held down there. He was getting up, but it was just, I don't know.
No, but this has happened before the Renato Moicano. When he fought Jalen Turner a couple years back, he won the fight by ground and pound, but he was getting gassed out completely. Like, his wrestling is good, but it's also very tiresome for himself instead of his opponent. And I'm mad at myself because I picked Renato Moicano, because here's the thing I want to say. Here's my reasons why. Look at what happened in Iran last week or 2 weeks ago. Do you expect me to expect an Iranian fighter not to kill another man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to bring politics into this. But come on. Benny the Bull isn't going to go in there and just massacre this man. And Renato Moicano, I feel like, got too overconfident because, you beat Benoit Saint Denis, which was a great big finish, but then you lost to Islam, and then now you're like, oh, but this is gonna be like a stepping stool for me. Beneil's nothing towards my type of level. But it's Benny the Bull, man. Like, even if he lost to Charles or lost to anybody else by knockout, he's still got a strong chin. He can still go out there and do his thing. Benny was amazing. This whole fight was complex, and it was a very bipolar type of fight because you first think, oh, Benny's losing in the first round. That's it. Renato's got the next 2 rounds in his bag. And then and as soon as he sits on the stool and he looks at his coach and he's like, damn, I'm fucking tired. And then that was it. The next 2 rounds, he got completely destroyed. And Beneil Dariush takes the win. And I was like, wow. I wasn't mad more so, but I was more so like, I should have known better. Plus, it cost me $400. I was like, "Come on, man!" I sent out bets to all my friends of these picks, and I was like, "You guys gotta believe me. If I would have been, because I'm from California, I can't bet, so you know what I mean. So I'm gonna be like the Epe Mazahara of people, like here, do this, like bet on it." And we fucked up, pals. We fucked up, but I'm happy for Max because I was like, he's the only person who picked him. I'm like, I feel like I should have done that. I was like, I think I fucked up here, guys.
Yeah.
Like, everything else was perfect because it's the dominant. Talbot dominant. Beneil dominant. Renato. Everyone's had such a dominant run in their path to getting to this card. And I fucked up.
Hey, we believed in Money Moicano.
I fucked up.
Yeah, it was a risky pick, dude. He hadn't won.
Money Moicano cost me money, man.
For real, bro. Freaking, yeah. I mean, it was a risky pick. Beneil was coming off of 2 L's and hadn't won since 2022. So, hey, dude, I don't blame you guys for picking Moicano. I was like, this is in my head. I'm like, if this is prime Dariush or anywhere close to prime, I'm backing him. But I'm like, man, if he's washed or like past his prime, I'm like, Money will probably win. But even though Dariush is going gray, he's still freaking great, dude. So shout out to Dariush, even though he's aging like fine wine.
Hey, according to Hanata Moicano, he's the older one because he's fucking balding. He's a psychopath. Yeah, I thought he was Moicano. I thought he was a surefire win here, but I was dead wrong. Hey, sucks.
Happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, shit happens.
I have a question.
yeah.
How many viewers do we got?
284.
God bless.
God bless.
God bless America.
I don't know if it shows. Hold on, give me 1 second. I don't think it shows the full scope of.
Yeah, because I know we have 287 from like Twitter. I believe so.
221 from Twitter right now.
Okay.
And then I guess the rest are Facebook. I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't see that.
Hey, it's Randy and the boys. Come on now, crank the hog.
Crank that hog.
Let's go. Crank that hog. Come on, Brady, crank the hog.
Hey.
Yeah, cranking hogs.
But yeah, good fight there from Dariush. Good job. We then moved on to fight of the damn night. Josh Van versus Brandon. Yeah, true. Josh Van versus Brandon Royval. I'm honestly shocked that none of us picked Royval.
But I know. I almost did, bro. I was like,
round one.
Couldn't.
Round one, Brandon Royval started off with some nice kicks. He would not let Josh get close or even throw a strike for the first 2 minutes. And then Josh landed 3 nasty shots in a row once he got close. Royval was like point fighting and just keeping Josh back, which I don't blame him for. But then once Josh got in, he landed a hard shot. He busted Brandon's nose up early. Josh then stung him. Brandon slipped. Josh kept landing on target. He couldn't miss. He's so good. Round 2, Van was coming in hot, and Royval started to make it a little dirty and fire back. Royval landed a nice strike, but Van would fire right back. They both just started throwing heat back and forth, both landing insane pace, nonstop striking for like 2 minutes straight, literally, not joking. They just didn't stop throwing for like 2 minutes straight. Round 3, they started exactly where the last round ended, both throwing heat back and forth. Josh landed a beautiful 1-2 combo. Royval fires back. They're both bloody, both walking forward, both kept striking. Josh would throw in he kept throwing in like these little side kicks to the leg, which would like trip up Royval and even made him fall 2 times. Then Josh landed a bomb late. Royval ate it. They both started trading like crazy. And then with 10 seconds left, Josh drops Royval, but time ran out. Royval was rocked, but the time ran out. And it almost looked like Royval thought it was over as far as like he got called for a TKO because he got up and was like, fuck. But then he realized, okay, it's a decision. Maybe I got this. He didn't have it. Josh Van gets the win 29, 28, 29, 28, 30, 27. Very, 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 very good fight. Fight of the night. Literally fight of the night. They did get the bonus. Fight of the year for sure as far as this point goes. Josh freaking Van. How about this guy, man? Josh Van.
My God. I love how weeks ago we said, wow, he's stepping up against Royval. This is going to be great. And it paid off. It paid off in the most beautiful way possible. This was an amazing fight. Fight of the night, fight of the year. This absolute domination from Joshua Van. I thought Brandon Royval was going to lose his upper lip a couple of times with those exchanges because he kept getting hit right there over and over again. I thought his lip was bloodied, his nose was all shattered. I don't know how many injuries they walked away with, but they got fucked up. And here's the crazy thing about this too. Yeah, Royval, yeah. But here's the crazy thing about Joshua Van is that he wins here, he gives his post-fight speech, and then was like, oh, he's going to go back there, get checked on and, probably go home. No, he was in the crowd the next fight. He was just sitting there. So, he was just happy as hell. But wow, Joshua fucking Van. I'm glad we did not pick against him. I don't know. Did we pick against him 3 weeks ago? No one did, right?
No.
I think we all picked Joshua.
Yeah.
Didn't pick against
So-
them then. Won't pick against them now. It was just so perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, Josh Van fought on UFC 316. He got the finish there. I saw that live and was like, okay, Josh Van is the guy. He's gonna go on and do good things. And then all of a sudden, I didn't expect it to be that fast. He gets called in like 2 days later for this fight. Number 12 versus number 1. Brandon Royval is number 1 in the division.
Crazy.
Moves all the way up on 3 weeks' notice, gets the fight. Not only does he get the fight, has fight of the year, fight of the night, and wins. And now he went from unranked to 12 to 1, and now we'll get a title fight off of an insane back-to-back fight streak there.
Yeah, activity. Oh
Just
my god.
crazy.
You know what it
Crazy.
reminds? It reminds me of like the Pacers and the Thunder, because the Pacers was like 8th ranked team, the Thunder are number 1 team, and it's like an alternate universe where we got the Pacers to win. Everybody, the underdogs took it on because the number 12 ranked. When I saw that, I was like, I'm still rooting for him, but this is gonna be one of the hardest battles he's probably ever gonna face besides the champion. And my goodness. It was amazing fight, start to finish, 10 out of 10, and then it's the craziest thing ever because I don't think I've ever really seen this. It's a rarity where you take this next fight, 3 weeks notice, and the fighter is a number 1 guy. It's like beating Ngannou essentially, like, you know what I mean? Like years ago, I'm not trying to compare, like, but it's like a number 12 ranked guy going against the number 1 ranked guy, whether it's Robbie Lawler, whether it's Francis Ngannou, whether it's Daniel Cormier, one of these dominant perennial guys who are next in line for the championship, and then you beat them, and then now you're next in line to take the crown. Most likely, it's a 50-50 right now because Van is going to give a very, very tough performance against the champion, but my goodness, I cannot believe we got to witness this. I'm just very happy that Joshua Van pulled us off. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Josh
Apparently
Van.
us.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Josh
Who would've
Van. Josh Van is a dog. Hey, Brandon Royval is a dog too. He did not fall. He kept
Yeah,
going. I mean, he did fall the last 10 seconds, but he kept going forward. He didn't get finished. He was busted up. He also was fighting back. It was a very, very good fight. Takes 2 to make a fight of the year, and they definitely did that. So shout out Royval as well. But
Sure.
Josh Van, it's crazy. There's another reason why I'm happy for Josh Van, but I will get into that in a minute. But Josh Van, like you said, did call out. He said, I want the winner of whoever wins between Kai and Pantoja, and I won next. So instead of leaving, they sat Josh Van cage side, and he watched the next fight. So he was ready. And we go into the next fight where Alexandre Pantoja defends his UFC flyweight championship against Kai Kara France. Round 1, Kai came out the gate swinging, which I thought was an interesting game plan there. Pantoja was able to take him down off of it. He took the back. Pantoja locked in a body lock. Kai broke it. Pantoja locked in an arm triangle, but Kai broke that. Pantoja mounted, eventually got to the back, tried for a choke, but the time ran out. We go into round 2. Pantoja back to the wrestling early, had Kai scrambling, but eventually it looked like Pantoja started to get a little tired and stopped wrestling. Kai then landed some decent strikes, but he kept dipping low. Every time he throw a strike, he dipped really, really low. And I was like, Pantoja's going to catch him with a fucking knee. And he did. He read it and landed a nice knee that busted Kai's nose open to end that round. Round 3, very frantic start from Pantoja. He just ran right at him, got a takedown, took the back, locked in a rear naked choke, and got the tap. Alexandre Pantoja defeats Kai Kara France via submission. Rear naked choke early in round 3. Pantoja, man, they were hyping Kai up. Kai is the hardest hitter Pantoja's ever faced. Man, Pantoja's just too fucking good. On the ground, he's too good. A lot of people were not happy with how the fight went as far as, like, excitement goes. I didn't mind it. I thought, man, if you have a guy that is apparently the hardest hitter going against you, you're going to want to wrestle. That's what he did. And he did it well. I have a couple
I want to say
things
this
to
too.
touch on here.
People who were mad about Pantoja's performance obviously didn't see him fight Kai Asakura, Steve Erceg, Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno, Alex Perez, Manel Cape, Matt Schnell. Everyone he goes against, he calls himself a cannibal. He's gonna slaughter you no matter what. He's gonna get you to the ground and just constantly dominate and destroy you. Who didn't expect this? And if you get mad about that, then just tell your favorite fighter to get better. You know what I mean? Like you gotta get better when it comes to
Get better,
champion.
son.
All due respect. I love every fight contender that's always in these the flyweights, the lightweights, the welterweights. They're always like some of my favorite divisions. But you can't get mad at Pantoja for defending the championship. It's like getting mad at GSP for having a dominant reign with Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, people should like Pantoja, and I'll say why in a minute. But I did want to touch on something that you brought up about Demetrius Johnson. Alexander Pantoja now has surpassed him as far as records go. He has the most submissions, most wins, title defenses in the flyweight division. Is Alexander Pantoja the flyweight GOAT now? Is he the greatest flyweight of all time? I know people are going to say.
How many times has he defended the title?
4, I think.
Didn't Demetrius defend it 11?
I don't know. Did he?
Yeah, he surpassed
UFC.
Silva.
Oh, UFC put out a graphic that said he defeated Demetrius Johnson in all his records, but
the propaganda.
Dana White hates Mighty Mouse. Remember that, bastards.
Well, regardless of that, he is on the craziest streak, and he's gonna lap.
He's the next guy. If I had to make a betting line, it would be Pantoja, the one that's next in line to surpass Demetrius Johnson. If he wrestles the same way and the fights the same way he has for the next 2-3 years, there's no one that can stop him. Everyone's gonna die.
Yeah,
yeah. Everyone.
I'd say he's second right now, but I mean, on his way to definitely the second, possibly the best if he keeps this up.
Yeah, I think. Hold on, give me 1 second here. I think Pantoja is going to be undeniable for
if he beats Van.
A lot of people, but if he beats Van, I don't see him, I don't see
anyone else being
who's going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I wanted to also touch on that a little bit. Van comes in the cage after the fight, which I liked, and they had a stare down, and they talked like, "You're next. You're 100% next. Let's go." So that was cool. That's next. The thing I like about this, and not to hate on Brandon Royval, but I liked that Josh Van won because Pantoja beat Royval.
Yeah,
Pantoja has beat almost every top guy in the division right now. I mean, they even brought in Kai Asakura, who was making his debut against the champ, and he beat him. So it's cool for Josh Van to come in here and we can get someone new. You know what I mean? A new title contender for Pantoja to beat, because otherwise he's just going to start lapping this division. I don't see a world where a flyweight beats Pantoja unless it's Van. And the reason why I say that is because Van looks unstoppable right now. It looks like nobody, like Royval was hitting with some hard shots and he did not wither away. So it's going to, I'm curious to see how his wrestling is, of course. I think that's going to be Pantoja's game plan. Go after the wrestling. We'll see if he can survive that. If he can't, who beats this damn guy?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I can't wait for that one, dude. Hopefully they announce that one relatively soon. Neither guy really took too much damage. So hopefully we can get it this year.
Well, I don't know about that. Josh Van took a little bit of damage. Josh Van.
Yeah, I mean, he took some damage, I guess. You're right. I guess he took like 200 punches worth, but not enough damage to him to actually go to the hospital. Bro was fucking chilling, watching the fights. I'm like, you seem fine.
I could see this fight happening in November. You know what I mean? November, December. I feel like that would probably be the time period where you could put these two together, and then everybody just, because everyone's gonna want to see this fight more than anything. The two flyweight greats right now, Van and Pantoja, going against each other. Definitely, I could definitely see this happening in November, like, because they usually have the MSG cards then. So it's like,
but will they have this as a headliner? That's what I'm wondering. Are they going to have this as a main event? Because Pantoja and Van are both pretty. It's like Pantoja's getting pretty big name with how much winning he does. It's like, for a
You're
while
right.
he was slept on, and now Van's becoming a fan favorite. I'm like, maybe they'll have the little guys get a main event.
Hey,
The
they
rare
do the
little
main
man
event.
main event.
They should do the main event in Brazil.
Ooh, that'd be
Yeah.
fire, bro.
Yeah.
For real, dude. Pantoja deserves that, Like, get him a hometown.
Because could you imagine the alternate universe, you know what I mean, where we get Van who knocks out Pantoja, and it feels like when Stipe Miocic beat Fabricio Werdum, how quiet the crowd went. Like you could hear a pin drop in that bitch. I would
Yeah.
love that more than anything for that fight to happen in Brazil. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
100%.
Also, I found the thing. My mistake. They say he has more overall wins, not championship wins. Pantoja has more wins.
Yeah, 14, right?
More wins, finishes, and submissions than Demetrius Johnson in the flyweight division, and more in history. He has the most. So this was his 35th fight, Pantoja.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. The amount of fights he's taken, the amount of dominant wins he's had. The guy's a GOAT. You know what I mean? You can't deny him at all.
Yeah, if he beats Josh Van, like I said, I looked at the ranking. I don't see anyone beating this guy. I just don't.
No.
The only one that maybe could beat him is if they run it back with Brandon Moreno. And even then, I don't know. This guy's unbeatable. And I was talking to my brother about this. Almost every champion right now feels unbeatable. Except for Jack Della Maddalena, who's I could see Islam beating him. But who's beating Tom? I don't know. Who's beating Marab? I don't know. Who's beating Ilya? I don't know. Who's beating Volk other than Ilya, who moved up? So that doesn't even matter. Who else is beating Volk? I don't know. Like, who's beating these guys? They have a very strong.
And I don't mean to be mean. Magomed Ankalaev, I could see losing. You know what I mean? If someone can control that wrestling, it's happened before. You know what I mean? Like Jan Blachowicz,
I could see him losing. I could see him losing to Pineda, but I'd be interested to see anyone else.
Remember when the UFC had that weird fucking like 2 title fights in like a span of like 2 months? It was Jan Blachowicz against Magomed Ankalaev, and then it was Glover Teixeira against Jamal Hill like a month later because they couldn't determine a champion. And then the draw. Then Jamal Hill had to win the championship. So, like, when I saw Magomed have that performance against Jan Blachowicz, I was like, that's Jan Blachowicz out of his prime. You know what I mean? Like, I could see him losing. So, Pereira's had an off day. It was no Shamar. You know what I mean? There was nothing there.
Dude, Alex should move the fuck up to heavyweight, to be honest. He's so big.
Big.
But yeah, Pantoja, he's gonna be a flyweight GOAT. He's already number 2. Like, he has to be number 2.
Yeah, undisputed number 2.
Guaranteed number 2. Who else?
And he's
number 2. You know what I mean?
And he's complained like over and over and over, like, why am I not higher in the pound for pound rankings? Because he's not. He's not high at all.
Bullshit.
He's like, why am I not high? So on Tuesday, when the new ranking come out, he better be up there. He better be 2. If they want to keep Islam 1, fine. But Jones is out. He retired. So put Pantoja number 2. He deserves that.
Get Jones' ass out.
Well, with Jones out, remember Topuria, Islam, Pantoja, those guys are like, I feel like definitely in that top 5.
Marab.
Yeah, Marab, yeah. Well. Those are the top 4 for me.
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, crazy face-off after the fight. Pantoja is going to be wild. I cannot wait for that. Josh Van called his shot and said, even before his last fight, he said, I will be champion by 2026. And then he won, and then he won again, and now he gets a title fight. So he might have called it. Josh Van might be champion by 2026.
And he's only like, what, 22 or some shit? I'm like, this shit's crazy.
23 years old, yeah.
Like, he would have been the youngest UFC champion if he would have won the title this pay-per-view. But because he didn't, John Jones will still hold that record because he will turn 24 and before he gets the fight, unless they make the fight like next week, which isn't going to happen. John Jones will still hold the record. So yeah, should be a good fight. Pantoja.
What a card, dude! I'm like, every fight has been so fucking good, dude.
Yeah,
we were blessed by the MMA
Before we move on to the main event, I will touch a little bit on Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France, this was his second title shot. He lost again. I don't know what's next for him, honestly. I don't know if he'll get another title shot ever again. I mean, if he wins and wins and wins and becomes undeniable, then sure, maybe. But
Yeah,
I honestly don't know what you do with Kai next. I have no idea.
he's kind of in a tough spot. He's 1 for 3 in his last 4, so.
Yeah.
And here's another thing too. Like, if let's say Pantoja loses the van, and let's say Pantoja says, "All right, I'm done with this division. I'm moving up division." So that whole spot's free. Kai Kara, let's say, goes on a streak of wins and then fights Van. Even then, I don't think he beats Van because the high input of punches that he puts out is just too much. And Kai Kara in the stand-up might be a psychopath, but I feel like Joshua Van beats every single person.
Dude,
And
Josh Van is about
Like-
to beat the record for most strikes in flyweight history, and he's hasn't
Been
even
around for
been
2
long.
years, for real.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I did that fight with Royval. They both combined 200 plus significant strikes landed. I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Also, because you mentioned it a little bit, there was a video that I don't know if it's UFC or ESPN or someone posted of Pantoja and Marab backstage after this fight, and Pantoja said, "I don't want to move up. I do not want to fight you." Talking to Marab. So
I don't blame him, bro.
we'll see. We'll see if that's true, or if that is true, fans should like Pantoja more. And the reason why I say that is because so many people complain, like Ilya or Islam or whoever else, they win the belt, and then instead of defending, they just want to move up and try to become two-weight world champ. Pantoja's like, nah, I'll just stay down here, dominate my division, become the flyweight goat, and then I'll be done. I don't need to move up. So he's keeping the division active, and I respect that.
Oh yeah,
100%.
no, because I remember years ago Dana White tried to kill it off with Demetrius Johnson. Then I remember like when Henry Cejudo versus Tito Dillashaw, he was hoping that Dillashaw's juicing gas would have beat Cejudo to officially shut down the division, but it didn't happen. And more of the flyweights have come out and said, no, we're gonna make sure this stays alive. We're gonna make sure it keeps striving. And Alejandro Pantoja is that main guy who's been keeping it more than live, and he's dominated everybody in this path. Moreno and Figueiredo had a great, 4-fight, series, and then afterwards, Pantoja's just dominated every single person in this path. And who knows, we might have the next future in line with Joshua Van, but at this point, I think everything about this division is perfect, and I'm so glad they didn't cut it off because everybody here has all the rights in the world to say that they're the best fighters, and it's amazing to see you.
Yeah, I think flyweight is one of the most fun divisions right now. You have so many prospects. You have so many guys that could come up and probably will lose to Pantoja, but you have a dominant champion. You also have guys like Manel Cobb is in there. He's back. He's in there. Asakura, he only had one fight, so he's going to try and, bounce back and get another one. Josh Van coming up looking good. Pantoja. The guys like Royval, Moreno, etc., they're always going to be there. So, fun division.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. But, fun co-main event. Good job, Pantoja. It's now time for the main event for the vacant UFC lightweight championship. As the bell rung on this fight, Islam Makhachev is no longer the lightweight champion as he vacated the title and moved up to welterweight to fight Jack Della Maddalena, which is not even confirmed right now, but I'm sure it is, but it isn't publicly, and we don't have a date for that. But anyways, we will have a new champion. Ilia Topuria vacates the featherweight title, who is now – I have a little issue with that, and I'll talk about it in a second. But he moves up to lightweight to fight Charles Oliveira for the former champion Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title. And here we go. Round one, Oliveira lands a nice right hand early. Landed some nice leg kicks. Ilia countered and cut Charles over his eye early, and I was scared. Charles then gets a takedown. He gets a takedown. I was excited for that. Ilia ends up on top. Charles tried for a leg lock. I was very excited. I was like, oh, my God. Then he got out of it. Then they get back up to the feet. Charles landed a nice uppercut. And then Ilia knocks him out. He lands a nice uppercut, and then Ilya fires back with a nice 1-2 and knocked Charles Oliveira out cold. Knocked him out cold. Just like that. That's it. It's over. I was devastated, shocked, devastated, heartbroken. I was heartbroken for a couple reasons. One, Charles Oliveira, that's my guy. Big fan of Charles. Everyone loves Charles. Who doesn't love Charles? He's great.
Bronx, baby.
Nobody wants to see him knocked out like that. Nobody. Also, I picked Charles to win this fight. In my heart, I knew that Ilya Topuria was going to win this fight. But my brain said, back your boy. Go with Charles. And I went with him, and it did not pay off. I would have won this week if Charles Oliveira won this fight, but he did not.
For real. Oh, my gosh, dude.
Who won? Who won this week?
Me and you. We tied.
What does it say?
You know.
Oh, wait. No, we didn't tie. You won.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So that means
You won.
it's motherfucking back. You know what that says? Winning time, bitches. Hold on. Oh, we'll bring it all out. We're going all out, baby.
Oh, the glasses.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum. We did it.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Yeah, this was brutal. This was upsetting.
For
This
real,
was
bro.
sad. This
Oh
was
my
heartbreaking.
God.
You guys both
Follow-up
wanted
shots?
Taporia, but come on. Everyone
Real,
wanted
bro.
Charles to win this
Exactly.
It was
Even
heartbreaking.
though- yeah.
It's heartbreaking. You know, I'm saying this as I wear this, but it's heartbreaking because I wanted Oliveira to win so bad. Like I picked Topuria. I was like, he's gonna kill him. I cannot pick against Topuria ever since what happened to Holloway and Volkanovski.
Exactly.
Volkanovski, I expected it, but with Holloway, I was like, no, Holloway's the best boxer in the UFC. No one's
His
gonna touch
chin
him.
is unbreakable.
And then you get killed like that, dog.
Yeah.
That's
For real.
Here's Topuria. Sorry, the weight class move. You know, going up weight, going against Charles Oliveira, a guy who can just take you down and smother you and everything. The same way like he did to Michael Chandler months ago. I was expecting that, but no, that was not the case here.
Here's the thing here. There's more at stake than I think a lot of people realize because there's a big potential that if Charles Oliveira won this fight, he could be considered the greatest lightweight of all time. Because no one, this is such a weird stat, but it's true. No one has ever won the lightweight title twice. No one's lost it and won it back. He would have been the first to do it. He also has the most submissions in the division, most wins, most bonuses. He would have been the first ever two-time lightweight champion. He would have been a GOAT of this division, but it didn't happen.
Bro, he's still one of, but yeah.
Ilya Topuria has ruined our hopes and dreams.
For real, dude.
Ilya Topuria is 2009 Randy Orton. Ilya Topuria
Oh
is
my
a demon.
God.
Ilya Topuria is a straight heel. He's a terrible person. And I mean that in the context of the fighting. Like he's ruining
I will say this is probably how
Holloway,
fans.
Volk, Oliveira, all these legends, he's killing them.
This
Like-
is probably how fans felt back then when Benson Henderson beat Frankie Edgar, for the championship, and then Frankie wanted to get back the title, and then lost again. I feel like this is how fans probably felt because Frankie was the GOAT back then. You know what I mean? Like he was that guy, and then they had to deal with that. Like I feel like he's on Charles Oliveira is on modern day Frankie Edgar. Like he can go through hell, but when it gets to that title fight, it's like fuck, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. The fact that Charles Oliveira can take a hit and keep coming, and then he just didn't this time,
I know, exactly,
it
bro.
was crazy.
That was
And
what I
they
was
kept
worried
saying
about.
that. I blame the commentary team. They're like, oh, he could just take a punch and it goes through the pressure. You guys fucking jinxed it. That's what you did.
Yeah.
You don't
Exactly.
speak these things into existence.
It was
You don't
so
say,
funny.
You don't say, what's Jesus doing today on the day he's getting crucified? You don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? You just move on with the day. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go make a boat. That's it. That's what you do back in the day. No, they just fucking jinxed it for all of us.
Yeah,
For
it
real,
was
bro.
it's brutal. Like the guy has the title, he has a good-looking wife, he has kids, he's knocking everybody out. He's literally
bro.
just perfect. He's perfect, and we all hate him
He
for it because he's perfect. Like fuck you. Why are
Bro,
you so
bro.
perfect? Fuck this guy.
Bro has
Like-
a tattoo of his own face on his chest, and he's doing this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he
come
does,
on,
and he
bro.
also has Conor McGregor's tattoo on his back. A little
Yeah.
weird, but He was stealing all McGregor's lines and shit.
It's
It was
unbelievable.
strange. But he gets the win. Ilia Topuria now has the 10th two-weight world champion. And he's the first to do it while undefeated. No one has ever won 2 titles in 2 separate divisions while undefeated. After the fight, he called out Patty and Armin and Gaethje, and then Patty gets in the cage, and they had a face-off. They started pushing.
Dana White was so pissed.
He was pissed. Dana White was not happy that Patty got in the cage. Dana went to the back for the press conference before this happened, so he said if he was out there, he would have not let Patty in that cage. But they started shoving each other, and then Ilia said, "I'm gonna knock you out and put my balls on your forehead." And then everyone was posting clips of that's what McGregor said to Eddie Alvarez. Like, dude, he's just stealing all McGregor's lines. He really is. Someone posted a compilation of all of Ilia's trash talk, and it's all Connor shit. It's so weird. So
That is, dude.
And then he even did his pose where he like does the thing and like that. He did that before this fight. Like, why are you stealing all Connor shit? It's weird. I don't know, but he's just a big fanboy apparently.
Yeah.
But
I want to say this about Patty. Like, I like Patty. I think he should have a title fight in the future. But I don't think right now, because I like that he won over Michael Chandler. It was great. But who was the backup fighter that weighed in for this?
Armin.
So Armin
Yes.
should get the title fight next. Honestly,
I
like,
agree.
I don't know why the UFC would. I don't know why Joe Rogan or anybody would be like, you know what? That's your guy next. Like, no, dude. I don't care what your narrative you're trying to push here.
Yeah.
Patty needs one more fight to get into that title stratosphere. Right now, if he beats Tsurkian, then hell yeah, go for it. But no, he didn't. Tsurkian beat Charles, right?
Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the
Yeah.
weird thing. So Topuria and Patty have a history way back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of
Water
course.
bottle
He's not even
boy. Hand
He's not even
sanitizer boy.
Georgian.
Yeah, they're
He's not
throwing
even Georgian.
they're throwing bottles and shit at each other in the hotel lobbies and yada yada
Yeah,
yada. So
Bro,
wasn't it like fucking baby oil or something? They were throwing
it
at
was
each
hand
other?
sanitizer, yeah.
Well, and this is way back, bro. It's crazy how
This is bad. Yeah.
fast forward and now Patty is not the champ yet, and Topuria is double champ.
Yeah,
And
that
here's
is
the thing too about Patty. When Patty fought Tony Ferguson, I remember I was being like, he's not gonna race for the title anytime soon, because it felt like the Jake Paul route. You're fighting like these old ass losers. All the respect to Tony Ferguson, but like you don't really want to fucking say, oh, he beat Tony, he deserves a title fight next. No, then he beat Bobby Green, and I was like, okay, that was actually awesome. That was a dominant performance. So what's gonna happen next? And then he beats Michael Chandler. Right then and there, I was like, okay, now I believe in the Patty I once again believe in the Patty hype. But Topuria was dominant in the featherweight scene, and then he goes up to lightweight. It's like he's collecting rings like Thanos, but in a more dangerous type of way. He's killing everybody. So
here's the thing about this whole situation. And Demetrius Johnson, I'm going to bring him up because he talked about this. He said UFC is not a sport anymore. UFC is a company for entertainment that does things for entertainment, and that's why he's not a huge fan of the UFC right now. And what he means by that is, if this was pure sport, and he even said this, if this was pure sport, purely based on sport, 100,000%, no doubt Armin Tsarukyan would be next. But because it's entertainment, they're putting Patty next because that sells more tickets. It's not about who deserves a title fight. It's who's going to sell more for the title fight. And that's why, and I agree with him. Like, should Patty be next? No. Is Patty a more entertaining fight and more like interesting fight than Armin? Yeah, probably, because they have beef. But should he be next? No, it's Armin. Armin should be next. But Dana has this agenda against Armin because he missed weight the one time. But he made weight this time.
I'm like, did he miss weight or was it a back injury? I'm so confused. For real, though. I'm like, I thought he hurt his back, and that was the thing. And then Dana's like, he missed weight. I'm like, wait, did he miss weight or hurt his back?
He hurt his back. Mix of both. He hurt his back making weight, and then that's what happened.
But he made weight. He did weight
as a
backup fighter. He made the weight. He did it, and afterwards,
I think that's why Dana was pissed off, because he was like, We already have the next fight in line, and then Joe Rogan or whoever the fuck just
Yeah,
sends in
Joe,
Patty.
bro. He's
Yeah,
like, bring in
Blame
Patty.
Joe.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say on the post-fight press conference, Dana kind of like eased up on Armin a little bit. He did acknowledge that he made weight as a backup fighter, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Bro,
So I
we've
think
been
maybe he
saying
was
it.
like, he's like Armin's next, and then they're like, okay, Patty, get in the cage, and now
Yeah.
Dana's like, now Dana's in a position, and I don't blame him because now he's in a position where the entire world just saw these two face off in the main event after a title fight.
After a
And now the whole
huge
world's
card.
and now the whole world's like, okay, this
Patty
is next. But
Yeah.
in Dana's mind, he's like, that wasn't next. That wasn't supposed to be next.
Yeah.
Now am I forced to book this next because of this? Or do I
Yeah.
stick to my guns and go with Armin? And then everyone's like, what the fuck? It should have been Patty. So it's like, I feel bad for Dana because now Joe Rogan put him in a position where he's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
In my opinion, Dana should have just not said anything, bro. I'm like, bro, now this is making you guys look dumb, bro. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't tell? What do you mean? What do you mean, bro? The UFC's in shambles, bro. We're just having people come in just because Joe says so. I'm like, what is this? Joe can just call in whoever he wants. This is not planned. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
bro. Like, what?
I think the only way that they can fix the situation is by having like Ilya versus Armin on the same card of like Patty versus somebody else. Patty dominates his fight, Ilya dominates his. Then you have the face-off again where you confirm it. Because I know
that's a good one.
Stupid to do a repeat, like face-off, but at that point I would rather have that happen because then Suzuki gets what he wanted, and Patty gets another dominant fight in, and then we can get it because. I think in Dana's eyes, he wanted to book this, but he didn't want to book it just yet because it's the new John Jones and Tom Aspinall, two heated rivals. They want to see who the better fighter is. It's not like an interim situation, but it's like that's the thing too. I always thought that Pantoja would be in a situation where there's an interim champion like Joshua Van and Brandon Royval. They fight for the interim title, but that never happened because Pantoja is so active. He's dominating everybody. But you have Patty Pimblett and Ilya Topuria here, which is the next big, rivalry. In a way, I don't know what to describe it really with the whole, because I know he wants to mimic Conor McGregor and everything. Who do you say that Patty is? Like Jose Aldo, Eddie Alvarez, Nate Diaz, Khabib?
Yeah.
Like who? Like Donald Cerrone? Like who is he? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so hard to pinpoint what because he can wrestle, and I don't want him standing up at all. If he stands with Topuria, we might as well just freaking have a post show. We might as well have a post show ready for after the show, so we can already just talk about the fight.
He said Scousers don't get knocked out. That he said.
So we'll see if it lives up to the. We'll see.
Yeah,
if it's
he
true.
said he will not get knocked out. So we'll see. But there is a third. There's a third wrench thrown in this, and that is Justin Gaethje. Now, Justin Gaethje has said, "I want the title fight, or I'm retiring."
Yeah.
So
you see what Dana said about it? Oh.
Yeah, Dana said, "Fuck that, retire." Dana basically told him retire because he's like, not that he's not getting a fight, but he's like, if you're already thinking about it, then just go. And Justin Gaethje is 100,000% my number one favorite fighter. If I had to pick a favorite fighter out of anyone ever, Justin Gaethje is my number one. He's my number one. With that being said, I would love him to be champion. That would make me so happy. Retire. Because I don't want you to go out there and look like Max, Volk, and Charles. I do not want you to get knocked out by Ilya. It will make me hate Ilya more. It'll piss me off even more. Justin, I know who you are. I know what your game plan is. You're going to try to strike with Ilya Topuria. Retire. Because I do not want to see you get knocked out again.
Bro, dude, I'm like...
Max already did it, and I like Max. But I was pissed off at Max when he did that to you. I don't like Ilya. Do not fight Ilya. I don't want you to get knocked out again. Please.
For real, bro. I'm like, I feel like you could have another big money fight with some other, big name, older guy who's, one of those guys who's near retirement,
Honestly, Armin, if Gaethje didn't say that, I'd do Armin, Ilya, Patty, Gaethje.
I was to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Let Gaethje and Patty fight.
Bro, I'm like, he has enough room for one more big money fight. Maybe not a title fight, but I'm like, bro, he can still.
Well, I don't think Gaethje's taking that fight.
I know exactly. That's the issue, bro.
Yeah.
Championship.
It's almost like who's another lightweight that could fill in. Because I would
So
give Charles
maybe
the rest.
fucking Dan Hooker, the newest promoter, backyard
Yeah,
promoter.
Hooker.
Backyard fighting.
Here's the thing. Here's what I would just love. I'll just be fully honest. This is what I want. If I had it my way, this is what I would pick. Fuck Jack Della Maddalena. I want Islam to come back down and fight Ilya. I want Islam Ilya so bad now. I want that fight so bad now.
And then we can book Jack Della Maddalena against Bilal Muhammad. Right, fellas?
Hey,
right, fellas?
rematch, run it back.
Exactly.
Hey,
You guys
no,
both agree?
Bilal's about to get some smoke.
Yeah.
Bilal's about to get some damn smoke. I'll tell you that. I'm about to fire all on Bilal in a second
Honestly?
here. I'll tell you for why, for a reason. But Islam versus Ilya, undefeated, both undefeated for the title. GOAT versus GOAT, like pound for pound number 1 versus arguably pound for pound number 2, 3. This is the fight to make. 100%. This is the fight to make. Now, Bilal Muhammad, fuck you. Fuck you, Bilal Muhammad. And fuck you, Drake.
Being good?
I wrote this
Fuck
down
you,
on my
Drake.
notes. Fuck you, Bilal Muhammad, and fuck you, Drake. It's their fault that Charles Oliveira got knocked out.
They bet against him. Oh, I guess
Bilal Muhammad
can't bet.
If Bilal Muhammad didn't lose to Jack Della Maddalena, this fight would have never happened. We would have already had Ilya versus Islam. And then Drake goes and bets on Charles and jinxes him. And then Charles gets knocked out. This is both of their faults. Fuck both of these guys.
Fuck Drake.
Bilal, you should have beat Jack.
You're going through it, pal. That's it. Cut your camera off.
Hey, if Bilal Muhammad beat Jack Della Maddalena, Islam would not move up to fight
Yes, he did.
Bilal. He would not move up to fight Bilal. He wouldn't have done it. He said that. So that means this fight would have been Islam Ilya. But because he lost, he moves up and Charles gets knocked out. This is absolutely bullshit. Damn you, Bilal. Damn you, Drake. I hate both of you guys for screwing over my boy Charles.
Hey, Brady.
Hey, guess what? Jack Della Maddalena is a champion.
Oh.
Guess what? Bilal Muhammad is the first Palestinian champion. Oh.
You should have wanted Bilal to win.
Don't care.
You should agree with me.
I want Bilal to win. Of course, I wanted Bilal to win. What do you think? Who was
So you blame him? This is his fault. He lost.
I'm not blaming anybody. The world does enough blaming of the Palestinians. I'm not doing it.
I'm not be adding to that.
We're gonna start fucking throwing blows and shit.
Oh, damn it! I didn't want Charles to get knocked out like this. This hurt my soul.
I bet it did.
Especially the ground and pound, though.
But yeah,
that was the worst part.
Hey, he could have been Jack Hermanson.
Yeah, for real. That was like.
But this now, honestly, this brings up another conversation about like Pantoja. Who the fuck, other than maybe Islam, who the fuck beats Ilya? Who's beating this guy? He's literally a demon. Like, who's beating this guy? It's not fair.
Rafael Fiziev? No, I'm just kidding.
His power is genuinely unbelievable. Like, actually, I feel like he's a witch or something. Like, he's not.
Well, I'm not seeing anyone that's going to be able to do it.
Dude,
I'm looking at the rankings.
Holy shot. He keeps saying it. He's like, I'm going to knock this guy out here. I'm going to knock this guy out here. He said, I'm knocking Charles Oliveira out in round 1.
After he knocked him out in the first round, I was like, why didn't I put money on that dog? Like, that was he predicted Mystic Ilya.
Yeah. He literally called it. He said, I'm knocking him out in round 1. I'm doing it. And then he said that on Ariel Alwani's show, and Ariel laughed. He didn't laugh at him like, what the fuck? But he was like, hey, yeah, right. Like, okay, like, why do you believe that? And he said, dude, Charles comes forward. When I find my distance, he can't take my shot. He just won't be able to. Like, what does he know that no one else knows about
for real
surging his power? Like, how do you get? He's literally Super Saiyan. Like, how is he getting this power to know I'm gonna knock him out for sure? And then he does it. Like,
yeah,
who's beating this guy? Other than, like I said, other than Islam, because I do think that if Islam could get that fight and just wrestle him, then maybe he'll lose. But other than that,
because look at this is the top 10. I'm going from 10 to 1. Fiziev, Darush, Pimblett, Gamrot, Hooker, Poirier, who's retiring, Holloway, who's defending next month, Gaethje, who wants to fight, but wants to retire also. Charles Oliveira, who got knocked out. And Arman Tsarukyan, who should be next in line for the title. Arman's the only guy next in line. But then after that, like Patty's number 8 ranked. So it's like they really gotta like stretch that motherfucker out by being like, oh, he's a number 8 ranked guy, but he, is on earned a title fight. I don't really know about that. And then like Rafael Fiziev, but I would like to see him fight Ilya because it would be a very like stylistic matchup of striking and wrestling. But it also really depends. Like when you stand up at Ilya, like what happened to Charles? Brady still got tears in his eyes. Like it's just not good. It's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be fun for anybody who's rooting for the other guy.
Dude, every single person you just named, Ilya beats him.
Yeah,
he beats him. Like I don't even think they want to give Arman the fight, which I agree with.
And in
he
15
beats
and
Arman.
10, Joel Alvarez, Benoit Saint Denis, Grant Dawson, Michael Chandler, Renato Moicano. I don't see any of those guys
beats. Like, yeah, he beats all of them. Like, he beats them.
Mauricio Rufy's coming for him, bro. He's coming.
Like Beneil Dariush said after the fight that he's gonna be on a trajectory to go get a title. Dude, you're not, because Ilya's gonna beat you. Like, Ilya beats everyone. He's just gonna beat everyone. It's not fair, but GG's, the whole division's done unless we get the Islam fight.
Yeah, Islam's the only guy who beats him because Islam is Khabib. You know what I mean? Khabib versus Conor. That's the same situation. This will be.
Yeah, but then
out-wrestle him.
I start thinking that, and then I'm also thinking back. Well, Islam's only loss. He got knocked out. So if Ilya touches him, he's gonna get knocked out. Now I'm like, damn. Can Islam beat this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that. I want to say that, but the first Volk fight, I was scared for Islam. I thought Volk won that one, but in the second fight, he got completely torched. So Islam's gotten better with his striking, and his wrestling is always elite. So I really don't know what could happen. It's a very stylistic matchup that we would just have to hope and pray happens, but I don't really know about all that.
Yeah.
The only way it happens is if Jack Del Madalino wins, and then Islam has to go back down to lightweight and then fight Ilya. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't see him losing to Jack though. So
unless Jack pulls off the same performance he did against Bilal, then I don't see that happening. No.
Unless Ilya's crazy ass is crazy enough to go, I'll move up to 170.
Yeah,
I'll
for
do
real.
170.
I'm like, imagine if he
double
did that.
title
Bro.
fight.
He's already like what, 5'7"? I'm like, that would be crazy.
He's like, I'll just take 3 titles. I'll move up. Like,
bro, that'd be legendary, bro. I'm like, I'm already sold on Ilya as one of the best.
He would, yeah.
For real.
I'm like, he's 17-0 and
his ground game was good enough to not really be threatened by Charles whatsoever, and was able to like pretty much get out of anything. And then Ilya, obviously on the stand up,
he literally has tender blocks his hands. Like,
for real, dude. So it's gonna be tough for anyone, dude. Like you said, I think you might beat everyone. It's like,
yeah. And here's the thing too, I'm actively rooting against Ilya Topuria, but I will never pick against him.
Nice. We can tell.
I'll pick Ilya in every fight. I will say he's gonna win. Do I want him to win? No, but I'm gonna pick him.
Yeah,
he's just undeniable. He's just undeniable.
I was the same way back in the day with Khabib, and then I was like, no one's gonna stop Khabib. I can't fucking root against this guy. I was like, Tony Ferguson's gonna be the one, and then Tony never happened. So I was like, I gotta give up my dreams.
The worst part is, Brady, he's only 28. He'll be around for a while.
We're gonna have to make this guy cut all the way to flyweight. I want him to drain his body down to flyweight and fight Pantoja.
I know, dude. I saw this meme. It was like Ilya cutting down to flyweight because Pantoja is becoming too much of a goat. He's like, I need to stop anyone that is potential goat.
And he literally walking up to fight Tom Aspinall. Like,
yeah, he's like, I don't give a fuck. Dude, he had a hard ass line, bro. He's like, I don't give a fuck about weight classes. He's like, if someone comes at me on the street with my wife, he's like, I don't ask for their weight. I'm like, damn, that kind of goes.
Yeah,
I was like, sheesh.
I was like, I'm stealing that for the future.
For real, bro. I'm like,
that's why we hate him.
Tough.
That's literally why we hate him, though. Like Demetrius Johnson said, it's entertainment, but it's like it literally is WWE. Like Rami, there's guys and like I said, 09 Randy Orton. You're like, I fucking hate this guy. He's good, but I hate this guy. He's literally punting Stephanie McMahon. He's punting John Cena's dad. He's killing all these legends, and you're like, fuck this dude. He's good, but fuck this dude. And this is This is Ilya.
I hated Orton so bad during the build of WrestleMania 25 when he punt kicked Shane O'Mac, because I was a big Shane O'Mac guy, you know what I mean? So when he ended RKO'd Stephanie, I was like, fucking bastard. So
Literally
like,
handcuffed Triple H to the rope.
Kiss Stephanie's unconscious
Yeah,
body.
yeah, and you're like, fuck this dude. But that's literally Ilya in UFC. You're like, dude, leave Volkanovski, leave Holloway, leave Charles alone. Like, stop beating our favorites.
He's gonna knock out Patty next and then kiss his coach. Like, it's gonna be so scary.
Real.
I'm not prepared for this, man.
I'm very prepared.
The only thing though is if he knocks out Patty, I think there's gonna be a lot of happy people. Because there's people who like Patty, there's also people who fucking hate Patty.
I'm a Patty fan, but I don't know if he's ready for this.
Yeah. All I know is thank fucking God Patty beat Michael Chandler, because they would have definitely gave Michael Chandler next, and he would got his ass knocked the fuck out.
Conor McGregor, if you're ever man enough to get your life in order.
He would have started calling Elliot Connor's son.
Connor's son, I'm gonna knock you out, and then he would go out there and get slapped. Like, brutal.
Poor.
You know what we need? Who's the tallest? Who's the tallest lightweight? That's who we need to put against Ilya. It might have been Charles, so we might be fine.
Throw in who's
Terrence McKinney?
Throw in Joel Alvarez, 6'3".
Okay.
Alvarez, he's also from Spain.
Buddy.
Spain on Spain action.
Hey, if he gets up there, they can have that big fight on Spain. That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
He needs to kick him in the face. Just stay at range and just kick.
Bro, this dude Flores VM too from France. That dude's lanky as hell too, 6'1", but not as tall, but lanky.
Can Struve cut down?
Well, Struve is on his way.
We need a tall guy.
Mauricio Rufy, bro. He's in lightweight. If he actually keeps getting some wins.
Dude, Rufy versus Ilya would be crazy. That's
for real, bro. He's a little way away, but that'd be a crazy one. That last kick was crazy, bro.
He might not be that far away if Ilya just runs through everybody.
Yeah, true. For real, bro. Like, he might. Ilya should be active again. I'm like, he didn't get touched. So, I mean, he had that heel hook was the toughest part.
I don't even know if I can share this. There's someone commented, and I don't know if I can share it, but I'm gonna do it.
Oh my God!
I was gonna read that.
I'm hyped for that movie.
Oh no, you can't do it.
Randy,
crank
the GOAT.
Hog.
Shout out to you, Randy.
But
GOAT.
What a call!
Oh, Randy did it twice. Randy gave us 2 howdies. Oh my goodness! See, that's how you know he's a dedicated fan.
I only see this one. I saw it pop up. So
I see both.
He sent it specifically to you, Ronnie.
I love
I'm cranking hogs.
There you go.
But yeah, Ilya Topuria gets the win here. He is the
this card
best in the world right now.
Almost perfect card, bro. Like, what else? It's like,
honestly, it was.
He's the rebel. He makes more noise than heavy metal.
There was nothing I would change on this card.
For real, Mike. If they were all finishes, then the finishes wouldn't have been as crazy. So, like, even the ones that weren't finishes was still entertaining. So it's like it's a good balance of not all finishes where it kind of becomes like really short card and it's like every fight's only barely any time. But yeah, it was perfect, bro. Nice balance of crazy decision, wars, finishes, subs. It was everything, bro. Perfect.
Yeah, crazy card. And then we also have a card next week, which is low-key underrated, honestly. Here it is, the main event. Derek Lewis versus Taliesin Teixeira in where's this? This is in Texas, right? This is in Nashville. Nashville gets a heavyweight clash. Hey, we haven't had a knockout.
Someone say Nashville?
We haven't had a heavyweight knockout since March. We might get it here.
We're definitely getting one. I'm saying that now.
Imagine this is the one that gets the knockout. I'd cry.
Imagine this is the one that doesn't get the knockout.
For real,
They just wrestle the whole time. I'd be pissed.
Oh, Stephen Thompson? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I have not seen this card at all.
Co-main event, Stephen Thompson is back against Gabriel Bonfim. This should be fun. Calvin Kattar is back against Steve Garcia. We have Nate Landwehr against Morgan Shire. This fight's going to be fun.
I miss Nate Landwehr. Holy shit.
For real, he's
Vitor
fun.
Petrino versus Austin Lane. We might get a knockout in this one.
Yeah, for real. Petrino moving up in weight, isn't he?
Yeah. Junior Tafa versus Tokos. Prelims kick off at 6 p.m. Oh, wait, what time is main card? I think main card was early. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then 6 p.m. for the prelims, Max Payne Griffin versus the returning Chris Curtis. Felt like Chris Curtis was fighting every weekend. And then
Well, he almost fought some fighter in the
this
regional
past
scene. Did you
weekend.
see that with
Yeah,
Sean Strickland?
yeah, you
Oh
saw
my
that fight?
god.
Strickland threw strikes on the guy.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
What the fuck is happening?
Strickland had his angry mom walk in the grocery store.
I
He
know,
did.
bro.
He
Kicks
did.
off
That
the
was mad
flip-flops.
funny.
Oh,
He had
my
flip flops on. He was like,
God.
fucking weird, bro. What's wrong with that guy?
Who stepped on my Gordon?
He's like, why
All
I
that
oughta?
stuff.
He
Why I
literally-
oughta?
but yeah, that should be a fun one. Jake Matthews versus Chidi and Jukwani.
Bro, this is a stacked ass fight night.
Yeah, Lauren Murphy
Yeah.
versus
Lauren
Mora.
Murphy's back. Oh my.
For real,
Kennedy
bro.
and Njoku versus Walter Walker. This might be the next
Walter
heavyweight
Walker.
knockout,
For
honestly.
real. Yeah, this will be good.
Knockout. Mitch Ramirez versus Mike Davis. Mike Davis' beard looks like it's painted on.
Yeah, whoa.
And then Fatima Khan versus Melissa Martinez kicks us off for women's strawweight. So very solid, under the radar fight night here.
For real, dude. Freaking stacked, low key.
Yeah, so it should be fun. But now it's time for the news.
No.
I will not be here for the next show. I will not be here for any of the next shows, as this is actually my final show. Rami and Max here are, I believe, gonna continue on. If they want to, they can do it. But I will not be here. I will actually be stepping away from Bodyslam as a whole, writing, podcasting, live tweeting, all that stuff. So if you follow Bodyslam MMA, I just stuttered there. That was weird. Bodyslam MMA, I will not be there. I'm done. I don't know if anyone's going to take over that account. If not, it's going to be dead. So yeah, I'll be gone. This is
I'm gonna miss chopping it up with you, my boy.
I will be moving on to a regular outside job. I've been writing and doing stuff since I was 14 years old. I've been not at Bodyslam, but writing since I was 14. So over a decade, I've been doing this stuff. And it is a little weird to be moving on. I wrote for Bodyslam originally in 2018, 19, something like that. 17, 18, 19, around there. I first came in because of Corey. Shout out to Corey. And then I stepped away to go to what was it called, Max?
No Smoke.
No Smoke. Yeah, they changed it now. No Smoke. I walked away to go to No Smoke. That's where I met Max at, and we started this show over there. And then that kind of went towards boxing. So we stepped away and came back to Bodyslam. Myself and Max also did have a YouTube show for a little bit before we came to Bodyslam.
Yeah, that was fun.
You might not remember that, but
OG days. I remember.
We came over to Bodyslam and started this one, and we had a couple episodes, and then Rami joined us, of course. Also, me and Rami also had a wrestling show.
I was the one who pushed for you to come back to Bodyslam. I was like, you two need to bring your show here, because I loved watching you guys, but I didn't want to support the other brand. So I was like, you guys got to come here.
Yeah, myself and Rami had a wrestling show that probably no one remembers, but we do.
No.
Didn't last too long, but we had a wrestling show. But then we started this, and we've had 21 whole episodes. 21 weeks is a long ass time.
Lots of hours. That's the shit.
But now I'll be walking away. But of course, I will still support these guys and Bodyslam in general. Zero hard feelings at all. Still support all those guys. Every single person on the staff, love them. Huge fan of everything they're doing, especially now. They're really ramping things up with the Patreon and all that. So hopefully everything goes well with that. But yeah, as far as next week's card, you will not see me. Sadly, I wanted to end off higher than Max as far as records go, but God. I didn't do it. It was my fault.
Benil, bro.
Benil fucked us, and I should have picked Ilya. That was on me. I should have picked Ilya, but I didn't do it.
Bro, but we ended like 2 apart. I'm like, after
2
so
apart,
many
dude.
picks,
Crazy.
bro. That is crazy, bro. But yeah,
But
dude,
now
I just
we're
want
up
to
to
say thanks for all the help, bro. You for real? I mean,
course.
I met you. I was like probably like 20 now. I'm like 23 now. I was like basically a little kid when I first met you. So yeah, dude, you've been a huge inspiration for me, bro. Like even outside of life, in life, in fighting, outside of riding. So yeah, dude, I really appreciate you, bro. And I'm definitely gonna miss these long talks we always do every week where we freaking get our ranting out and rant. I'm sad we won't be able to rant about John Jones. He knew to retire when Brady was stepping away because we won't be able to roast his ass 24/7.
John steps away. I step away. Dustin Poirier next month. He's stepping away.
Well, bro. Justin
All the
Gaethje might be retiring, so shit.
Goats are retiring.
All the goats, for real, exactly.
Brady, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Like we worked on our first stint and the second stint in Bodyslam. You've always been great to me. When we were part of No Smoke, you were always good to me. Even though that wrestling show that we had was awful, you know what I mean? 15 minutes of wrestling talk is not enough for us, especially when we're
wasn't our fault.
fans.
That was not our fault.
Not one bit. But I'm appreciative of you. I'm very glad you've always stepped up to the table. You've always done absolutely amazing with your job, and me and Max are just grateful for you. And we will have a group chat still. We will still talk fights every weekend. We'll still say, "Oh my God, did that land?" and everything. We'll have the same way that we are. It's gonna suck not seeing you on the show. But I always say never when it comes to like those one-off appearances. Who knows? If John Jones comes out of retirement, maybe fucking Brady's gonna come back or like knocking on the door like.
If Justin Gaethje gets a title fight, Ilya, I will be back.
Facts, bro. Yeah, dude, it was so much fun, bro. For real, dude. I'm like, I would talk to you more than I talk to some of my like friends that live in town with me. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's like every week we'd stay consistent, bro. We'd never miss a show. So yeah, bro. So thanks for being such a good friend and such a good co-host. And yeah, dude, absolute goat, bro. I'll still be calling your ass up so we can chat.
Of course. And I had my first ever UFC interview with Max. We interviewed Brady Heistan, so that was pretty cool.
Facts. Legendary.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've honestly zero complaints about anything. It's been 21 weeks of some bad fights, but we had fun talking about it. But yeah,
some bad picks, some great picks too. We didn't get the undefeated card yet. We're still thinking on it.
Definitely some bad picks. But yeah, thank both of you. We've known each other for a long ass time. Rami since day one of Bodyslam, really. I don't even remember when that was, honestly. But it's been too long. We're getting old. Especially Max over here. He's old as hell.
Max is the baby of the group. I'm 25. I'm 25. He's 23. Brady, what are you?
27.
So it's like
we're all young, bro.
I'm the grandpa here.
I'm next to be taking. There's a sniper in the background. It's gonna pop my brains out, and then Brady retires. I'm gone, and Max is like, and then it ends the show like that.
I'm like, I can't even end the show. I don't have the control.
Hey, Max has a boxing career over here. He's gonna be the next big.
Hey, I fucked up my ankle, bro. So I don't know. It's not. Well, we'll see about that.
You'll heal it, and you'll be the next.
Yeah, you'll heal it. Dude, Icy Hot Shaq uses every week. Huh?
Exactly, bro. The Icy Hot Lidocaine.
Exactly. Hey, sponsor us.
Yeah.
But for one last time, make sure to follow. I'll do it right here. Well, actually, I can put this one up now too. Bodyslam Patreon, exclusive breaking news interviews podcast. Rami has an interview up there with Kid Bandit, who just was it yesterday or 2 days ago. He posted, so go check that out. Check that out.
Sweetheart, it was an amazing time to talk with her and to learn more about her return to professional wrestling in the last 6-7 months. And everyone should check it out. It's an amazing interview. Learn more about her. Learn more about her Alaskan roots, her match with Masha Slamovich, with Maya World, with Zack Sabre Jr., who just became the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, shout out to Zack.
It's a lot of fun, and everyone should definitely check it out.
Yeah, and also like there's not if you're watching this when you're strictly MMA, there's not really MMA news on there, but there's tons of exclusive wrestling news dropping every single day, so check that out. But then of course, make sure to follow us on bodyslam.net on X and bodyslam.net across everywhere for your pro wrestling news, results, podcast, editorials, all that stuff. And then plus follow our Bodyslam Net MMA for more mixed martial arts content. So check that out. Follow me at Brady Fight Talk. Follow Rami at Who Else But Rami, and Max at Combat Combos. They'll see you next week. I will not. So for the last time, goodbye.